What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Here's Angus. It's Saturday today, and we have spent quite a few weekends here in Zurich, not doing very much outdoorsy activities, and we really just spent it kind of indoors. We've done a lot of studying since we are doing our PhDs, and we're coming to those last 2 years, hopefully last 2 years, where we're just slaving away. We're just gonna go on a bike ride. We're gonna take the Zurirölt. Hopefully I'm saying this correctly, but the Zurirölt are essentially a free bike rental service here in Zurich, and it's pretty great. You just go up to them, you do a 25 franc deposit, which you get back as long as you know the bike is in good condition, and you get the bike for the entire day. So we just haven't needed to purchase a bike for ourselves, so it's been pretty great. We're just gonna take these bikes and go down Lake Zurich, and there's like a cute little island, and there's like little town down the lake, and I think it should take us like an hour and a half, 2 hours. With these bikes, I mean, they're not like road bikes or anything, they're just like casual little city bikes, so it'll probably take us 2 hours to get there, but it'll be fun. We're excited. So the bikes look like this. Zurirölt. So they're pretty decent. I mean, and you can't really complain. So obviously I don't want to talk too much on a bike because I don't want to lose my attention while biking and then die. I say that, and yet here I am still talking to you all on my bike, but YOLO. Anyways, what I came on here to say is that I don't know how far we've gone. Maybe like 20 minutes now. It should be like an hour and a half ride, so we still have quite a ways to go, which is fine because we expect it. And damn, these bikes are not easy on anything that involves hills. It is very difficult, but it's doable if you got strong legs. Having fun. So I actually forgot to mention the real reason as to why we biked 50 kilometers to get to this place. I think here, this little island. We're not just gonna be, biking and then sitting here to look at this island. No. That's not us. That ain't us. Instead, we're gonna packraft. Woohoo! to our island. where we're the only people here because it's not summer and people can't swim here, so ha! I see mostly just picnic benches, places to have like a nice little lunch, a nice little barbecue. Even though I think I only see 2 barbecue pits, but it's not bad. It's cute. You can't camp here. I know for sure you'd get in huge trouble if they caught you. There is another island that is just east of here, but I think you have to make a reservation for that island as well, so that kind of sucks. I wish we could wild camp, but then it's also Switzerland, so if they didn't have that rule, then you see like 100 people trying to fit into this tiny little island, so I guess they have rules for a reason. What are these? Do you think these are bathrooms he's building? Oh, you can open it. It's almost like a sauna without being a sauna.
It's a cold sauna.
Okay. Cool. So earlier in this video, we had talked about Angus's little health issues. So as we know, back in March, both Angus and I are pretty sure that we got COVID. We had every single symptom. I had a huge fever, coughing. I couldn't, you couldn't breathe very well. You had a fever, you had coughing. I couldn't taste anything or smell anything. For you, it was just mostly shortness of breath, right? Yeah, so we pretty much had all the symptoms that they said, but at the time we couldn't get tested because it was back in March, and that was when they just didn't have enough tests. After we had recovered, about a month later, Angus got another fever for like a day. He had a huge fever, couldn't breathe, pretty much slept for like until like 4 p.m., 5 p.m. the next
2
day.
days, so it was quite hard.
And yeah, and then he was better. Like within a day, he was fine, and he even went back to work the next day, pretty much.
Yeah.
So that happened about a month later, and then about 2 months later, around May, you got sick again. Angus was completely fine that night before. Like we were, hanging out. Angus had like 1 drink, maybe. And then you went home, and then the next day you were sick, right? And you had coughing.
Hangover? No.
I mean, it was worse than a hangover. You had a huge fever, you were coughing, and again he was out for like another day, and then the next day you were fine again. So this essentially had happened a few times over since March. I would say like 4 or 5 times now.
Yeah.
So the latest episode he had was now 2 or 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago?
3 weeks ago. He woke me up at 4 a.m, again the night before. Nothing was wrong. Everything was fine. You kind of felt a little tired, a little weird.
I was fine,
Yeah, but you took it easy. Like everything was fine. So at 4 a.m, he woke me up on a Monday morning or Tuesday morning. And you were like coughing really hard, and you were saying that you couldn't breathe. And we have one of those like, what are they called?
Pulse oximeter.
Pulse oximeter, there you go. We had one of those pulse oximeters, and so we put it on his finger, and you had like, what were your levels again? It was like 87%
87.
saturation of oxygen. And normally, for like a normal healthy human being, you're usually at like 97 or higher. And so that was not normal. So we eventually called ambulance. They took him in, and essentially they did a few tests on him for like half a day, and then they sent him back, which I found really weird because first off, we don't have a car, and so luckily we live near the hospital. We had to walk back from our place, from the hospital, back to home, which took us like half an hour to walk. And we wore masks and everything, but still, like, he was like dying. Come on, like he couldn't breathe, and we had to walk home.
I think that hospital, the ward, was for COVID patients who are like super severe. So once I was like no longer dying, then they said they could discharge me if I wanted to.
Okay.
So, you know, it's not that they like dangerously discharged me.
I know, but I was still like, you were still pretty like
I was
in
still
bad
very
shape.
ill, yeah. But I wasn't as bad as probably a lot of people who were there.
Yeah. Anyways, because this was recurring, we didn't think that just a half day at the hospital with no result was good enough. They did take a COVID test, and you ended up being negative for that COVID test, which was odd. So we thought like maybe it was just like another recurring COVID. So we kind of took matters in our own hands, and we ended up going to a pulmonary specialist. What did they do? What test did they do?
Every test.
They did another COVID test, even though he took one 2 days ago.
2 actually, yeah. And an antibody test.
An antibody test.
And they tested me for asthma. They tested me for different inflammation markers. I had my arterial blood and my venal blood tested. I had my lung function tested.
They took a CT scan as well.
I did a CT scan with a contrast agent.
Did they do an X-ray? Or did they just take the X-ray from the hospital?
The hospital I'd already had an X-ray done.
Okay. So they did all these tests. Like, I think it was like 2 or 3 days worth of hospital visits.
3 days.
And like at least 6 hours at this hospital.
Yeah.
And what were the results?
I don't really know.
You don't know?
They don't really know. I
they
mean,
don't know.
They know that there's like a pulmonary, it's like a pneumonia from some virus. But other than that, they don't really know what the deal is.
Yeah. So we have no idea what it is. We've done everything. We went to the hospital, got all these tests for Angus, and we still have no idea what it is. We still think that it's definitely related to COVID, and that it's some sort of immune reaction to the virus that had occurred in March, and it's probably still there in his tissues. Yeah, no one really knows what it is. You did test high for CRP levels.
Yeah, I mean, it was clear that there was some infection and clear like pneumonia in the CT scan. So like obviously there's something that's causing that, but what the cause is not particularly clear.
Yeah.
And
yeah, so we have no idea. Maybe someday we'll figure it out, or maybe someday the researchers will figure it out, or like the hospitals. But just at the moment, we just don't know very many other people that have that same sort of reaction to COVID. Most of our friends and most of our family who have had it have luckily been mild, which we are very thankful for. And that we thought ours was mild. Mine was mild.
Mine wasn't so bad to start with.
Yours wasn't so bad in the beginning, but now it's just stayed.
Yeah.
So hopefully if anyone knows about this, if anyone knows someone who has the same issue, just know that you're not alone. Also, just let us know so that we know that Angus is not alone. And hopefully we can get this shit sorted, because it sucks. Like for him, it sucks for me to see him like so sick, and to have to like avoid trains and to avoid just all human beings because he doesn't want to get sick again.
Yeah. Avoid them like the plague. These disgusting disease.
Which is why we're here on this island.
Yeah.
Because there's no one here, and it's great, and we have to avoid all these people, and we can. And my boat is floating away, so I'm gonna go catch it right now. Made it back from the island, paddled over, and now we're gonna bike back home. It's gonna be about an hour and a half till we get back, so I'm not gonna bore you with those details since you've already seen our little bike ride, and end the video here. let us know in the comments if you all know anything related to Angus's recurring illness due to COVID. COVID sucks. Everyone stay healthy. We all love you. And bye!